Film Festival has kicked off in Australia. The annual festival, showcasing the works of Taiwanese and Asian Australian filmmakers, is now in its 5th year. After going online because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the festival is back in cinemas across 4 cities. This year's programme includes new features, classic movies and short films. To find out more about the event, Eric Gao spoke with one of the festival's coordinators, Helen Stenbeck.
Why is it so important for this kind of festival, this Taiwan Film Festival, to be held in Australia?
I believe that destination elements for film festivals like this, foreign films are the first visual and sound experience of what is different to our everyday lives. You're basically expand the horizon of languages and visual impact. So for us as Taiwanese diasporas in Australia, it is a great opportunity to catch up, some Taiwanese films, especially for the older generations. You don't get much chances to watch a Taiwanese Mandarin film in Australia on big screen. So there's a sense of nostalgic for everyone, of course. And as for the rest of the Australian audiences, Australia is a very diverse country. I believe it is very important for the audiences to absorb different cultural consumptions, such as diverse language, books, music, and of course films, to understand cultures beyond your own.
As you mentioned, there aren't that many Taiwanese people of Taiwanese ancestry in Australia. Given the relatively small numbers, how big an impact does Taiwanese culture have on Australian society?
Well, unfortunately, Stu, there's a lot of people consider Asians as monolithic group in most Western nations. So it's very similar in Australia. And the understanding of Taiwan by many Australians is very limited. However, it also depends on who you're speaking to about Taiwan. You might get a group of people who still confuses between Taiwan and Thailand, and then you might meet a group of people who traveled and work in Taiwan, and they will tell you how much they love Taiwanese food. So I guess apart from that, I believe exporting other cultural aspects of Taiwan still has a space for improvement.
So as you mentioned, Australia is already very culturally diverse. So after people come and see these Taiwanese films, what kind of reactions do they have?
That's a brilliant question. Most people that we've spoken to, they have very positive feedbacks, and especially for those Asians who are not of Chinese heritage, the frequent conversations will come up will be about the food and the social aspects of Taiwan after they've seen the film. They will ask about more like, is this what Taiwan really like? Or can you tell us a little bit more about, what we've seen after the films? And they would kind of compare how liberal Taiwan is compared to their own country. For example, Chinese film and TV industry has been rather progressive in creating LGBTQI plus stories and also the female empowerment stories, which I believe are very popular amongst Asian diasporas in Australia. And of course, representation matters so much when you're in a nation that is predominantly white media production. And if you don't get to see your kind of own cultural production or your own cultural representation, at least, the Asians here, they will see something remotely similar, such as Taiwan Film Festival. We play such an important role in the sense of the diverse representation